Good evening, welcome to the second game of the day actually. The Excellent Moscow Cup has got 3 games today. The second one will showcase Meet Your Makers as well as the third one. They will go up against Ahead Gaming first. After this match we'll see them face the retry. Both of these games should be really good to watch and I will not be by myself. I am joined by Vikermont. Vikermont, welcome back.
It's good to be back, Shiver. I'm pretty excited for this game. I think Ahead are a team that I think has like pretty decent potential. I know we discussed before the game that they haven't had a great record, but like they play pretty solid. So I think they're very capable of taking a game off a team like MYM, who of course are no slouches themselves. And like you said, they've been kind of on a tear through this tournament.
Yeah, I'm liking the. Well, I'm a bit surprised by the Venomancer ban. I just came off a 3-game series where Venomancer was a very high-profile pick. Seriously though, these teams know what they want to do. Look at the speed of this draft.
What they want to do is Tusk.
Tusk Centaur. You don't need a Blink Dagger if you have a Snowball.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of do, but yeah, you don't knock out Blink just because. Like,
that's true, but you don't have to wait for your Blink.
And the cool combo here actually is that one of the things that's not that fun about playing Tusk is you need like minus armor, you need like burst damage, but you also need movement speed or your snowball just goes really like not as fast as you need it. But Centaur makes you actually not need the movement speed because no matter where you are, if Centaur just hits Stampede and you immediately snowball, you will get the entire benefit of that Stampede setting you to max movement speed times whatever the... What is the multiplier for the snowball movement speed? Do you remember?
No, I don't have.
Okay, but basically you'll move it faster than fastest movement speed as a snowball towards the opponents. So that's actually really great for your Tusk setups, and especially if you're chasing a faraway target.
Yeah.
And interestingly, MYM banned Viper, who's actually really good against that strategy, because then you he slows you all the way back down with Viper Strike, and you snowball at like 30 movement speed towards him, which is always really funny to see.
And Meet Your Makers actually with the Dazzle picked up, they already have a bit of a counter towards the Tusk as well. You can of course Grave before he gets the punch off. And the heal is pretty strong as well to just help out people that are getting initiated upon. I like the Dazzle pickup. Invoker a strong hero as well, but they have to start worrying about potential deathball that will come their way, and that's no pun intended, but potential deathball that Ahead is going to create, because picking up a Centaur and a Tusk first gives so much away about their lineup that they don't seemingly are afraid that Meet Your Makers has still anything left to pick up that is going to be very counter-initiating.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because certainly you don't need to take Tusk second. I mean, like, Tusk costs you nothing as a pick. He's never going to get banned, basically. Like, the odds of any team ever banning Tusk are like 0 with the way things are going right now. But they took it second, so clearly they have. Usually, the reason you take something like the second is you have an even more like offbeat pick later that you're coming for, or you want to force bans. Like you want to force them to respond to the Tusk with bans for heroes that work well with it, and then you do something else. I'm really surprised MYM have opted to ban Crystal Maiden. I thought for sure that they would take out Ancient Apparition. Who's extremely good with the Ahead's 2 heroes that they currently have.
And extremely good against that Dazzle as well. Good luck trying to heal someone that can't be healed. I really am surprised, because we've seen him banned or picked so far in the first stages of the game, and he's now completely ignored. It's surprising to me.
I think Ahead will probably take Ancient
Whoa! They ban it.
Honestly, I'm baffled. I thought that for sure they'd take it. They clearly have like a very specific pocket strat here where they have 2 other supports that they want to run.
Well,
or maybe the power of the Pentacore and Tusk is just a support.
Tusk could be a support. It's a support that needs quite a bit though, in terms of items.
Farm. He's a Pentacore hero, yeah, for sure.
So I'm a bit surprised about that ban on the Ancient Apparition. I mean, if you're not going to pick it up, yes, you ban it out. That's understandable, but
I'd pick it for sure, yeah.
And Morphling now picked up. It's some late game insurance for themselves, but I don't think it would be picked up by Meet Your Makers instead. So
yeah, it's very interesting. I am honestly shocked that they didn't take Ancient Apparition. I think it would, like, even if you have a pocket strategy, it can be good to just take good heroes anyway. Like, in the general principle that taking a bunch of good heroes is better than taking a bunch of bad heroes, but this could still work. Morphling's pretty cool here. He can get a lot of, obviously, survivability by morphing into strength. The Disruptor might cause problems for that with the static field, but It has to be very, very carefully managed. Morphling's pretty cool with Centaur Warrunner as well, just because if Centaur later in the game when Centaur Warrunner starts getting like tons and tons of strength because of his amazing strength gain, Morphling can just replicate a Centaur Warrunner, and then you have two insanely tanky Centaur Warrunners. Both of them have the return passive, so that can actually be a pretty big deal.
Indeed, I do like the Disruptor pickup for Meteor Makers though. They have hereby finished up their supports, Dazzle and Disruptor. I'm going to assume that Dazzle is a support in this case. I like the Disruptor because with that speed coming out from the Centaur, glimpsing someone back is going to be very important. Of course, Centaur or Tusk can still get one of their spells off before getting completely glimpsed back, but it will stop the initiation and will allow Meteor Makers to actually run away. And then Kinetic Field as well. If they want to back off with that Disruptor, they actually can.
They can. Yeah, I like the Disruptor pickup, honestly. Laning will be a problem because Tusk frequently acts as an all-in laning style hero. Like I think you and I casted fairly recently a retry game where they ran Tusk, and they just like, you end up in this position where I don't really get this lineup anymore. It's starting to get weird. Because Tusk is a hero who, if he doesn't dominate the lane, doesn't do very well. But Rubik is a hero who's extremely weak in the lane. He's one of the weakest laning supports in the game.
I guess he's nice to be a safe support against next to the Morphling.
I suppose so.
But I mean, he can still nice things from the Dazzle, but
I think it's carry Dazzle time, actually.
Is it
like, I unironically think if MYM ran, like, Unicorn on the Dazzle and just went all in on winning in, like, 15 to 20 minutes, they could easily do it. If Dazzle, Dazzle could, like, rush, like, Orchid or something, or Dezo Orchid, and Morphling would just die. Wraith King.
Well, we've seen Wraith King as a core most of all. We've seen him sometimes picked up as support, but I'm going to assume for now he's a core and Dazzle.
He can play this hero any role.
Yeah.
Hero's amazing.
EG
will play Dazzle core and Wraith King support. I actually think that's slightly better, in my opinion, but it can go either way.
What would you say of an aggressive tri-lane for Meteor Makers?
Yeah, let's do it. Disruptor's pretty bad in an aggressive tri-lane, but Rubik is really bad tri-lane versus tri-lane as well, so it balances out. And then Dazzle, as soon as he gets a couple levels, is pretty strong, and Wraith King is extremely strong these days in one of those tri-lanes. The intelligence boost, base int buff, so he can actually throw 2 stuns, was pretty huge.
Yeah, and they removed that Nyx Assassin, so there's not going to be an extra mana burn coming out for that Wraith King, which is a big deal. So one more hero needed for a head. They're going to go for the OD, so that will mean OD mid. We're going to have possibly an off lane for the Centaur, or a solo safe lane morphing, aggressive tri-lane Rubik Tusk Centaur. Not too sure about this, to be honest.
Could work. I mean, who's gonna really destroy Morph in that lane, I guess?
Nobody so far. I mean, they've got some stuns from the Wraith.
Silencer. Let's go Silencer.
Last one? I don't know.
Let's do it.
They need an off-laner / safe laner, depending on what they're gonna do with their tri-lane.
Off-lane Silencer. They won't do it, because they don't have what it takes, but it would be good, trust me. Yeah, whatever. Clockwork
is actually very good against Centaur, and people running at you.
Yeah, he actually is. I'm being facetious. Clockwork would be only an okay pick here. I think he's like a non-bow with Wraith King. Like you Clockwork somebody, and then Wraith King's just like, okay, I thought I was gonna kill that guy, but fine, I guess.
That's true. It kind of could mess up that Wraith King, unless Wraith King gets a blink, which we have actually seen before.
He should. Blink's pretty core on that hero. Batrider's a very high tier hero. I like this. I think this is a pretty solid pickup. Sometimes you lasso Morphling and he still lives just because he morphs strength, but I think it's a fine pick.
Flame Break is going to be important for this one as well. Get people away from the Wraith, or not from the Wraith King. Get people away from the supports.
That's gonna be tough. Like, that's gonna be a big skill check. Like, as soon as
they can mess each other up real hard.
Yeah, like that can definitely be a non-bow. Like, you flame break people out of the kinetic field, and then your teammate gets really mad. But also, like, if you're trying to stop Stampede with flame break, it's really tricky because Stampede is a pretty big bounding box. Like, if they even come close to your hero, they're basically proccing that slow. So if you're trying to avoid that, it's very difficult.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how they're gonna lane this, but let's take a look at who is playing what. That will give us a bit more of an idea. As for Meteor Makers, they will have the dire side for this game. Of course, we're still in the round robin group stages, so it's 11 teams. Everybody faces each other once at the end of the season. The top 4 move to the LAN finals in Moscow. $20,000 prize pool, so Definitely something worth fighting for. Meteor Maker so far undefeated. They'll run Link on the Wraith King. Went for a Stout Shield and a Quelling Blade. Has got a support with him. Unicorn that went for Boots first. Dazzle. And
Epic.
then on the other support we have Crit on the Disruptor. In the middle lane we're going to have Ryze on his Invoker. One of his signature heroes if I'm correct. And Ace on the off lane. Also Boots first. But a bit more standard for Batrider on the off lane for him.
Yeah. I think in matchmaking, Ryze plays Invoker like a lot.
Yeah, he does.
And when I think he's streamed before, and yeah, he's got a pretty, as you said, a pretty well-known Invoker. All right. So, what is going on with the chatter in lobby and now in game? What is this garbage?
Why would he say something if we're not allowed to say something?
I mean, we know.
Okay. Like...
What is this? You broke the rule. First rule of Fight Club: don't talk about it. Okay, so can I talk about it to that guy?
Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh Crit, you're in some trouble right now. There is gonna be a lift there as well. He's gonna get dropped down, and perhaps he's in trouble. But the kinetic field is the one he picks up first, so he's gonna live. But he'll be forced to take some of his regen, which he only has a stack of tangos, which he gave one away of, and they counter one of his observer wards already. So only one left. Ouch.
Yeah. It's definitely good to be able to... I think the vision advantage is the big one. The regen, yeah, it's okay. I mean, a support is not Rubik, could probably have done more, but like it's only level 1. So I think it's good that they got the regen, but the vision is very, very important. And actually, if you take a look in the middle, OD's in a... Well, he's not going to die, but that's a lot of damage.
Hey, do you want to still go over ahead, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely. I realized as I said about that I hadn't done that. Alright, so safe lane solo will be Seema on the Centaur War Runner going up against Bat. Not the most fun matchup for Centaur, but he should be okay, I guess. Oh, actually, top lane? No, there's no way. They just don't have damage. This Trellin has no damage right now. Our Zeke is on Rubik. Escurine is on the Tusk, pretty well-known player. Somebody who is using the Elias You Shall Not Pass, who I think has a private Dota profile, so I couldn't see who it was. He's on Morphling, and in the middle, Necroman on the OD. Who's
having a tough time, by the way. Ryze going for Quasek Sword, and Necroman, the harassment is definitely there. Ryze is not getting a lot of last hits. I mean, he's sitting only on 2 for 1, with Necroman getting ahead with 5 for 5, but the harassment from Ryze, once he gets that Invoke up, once he gets that Cold Snap, Necroman has to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it is OD, so, like, he's still 6 for 6 because he does 82 damage per auto attack, and Ryze does right now 49. So, he's doing his best. I think he's doing fine as Invoker. It's a shame that he took 3 tower shots just now, so he's forced to expend his healing salve quite early. But I think he should have bottles soon enough, and it'll be mostly a wash. Like, Invoker won't get farm, but he should be able to level. I don't think OD can kill him.
No, what... Why does he go for the poison there? Very aggressive coming out from Unicorn. And poison is, of course, very low mana, harass, but...
I mean, it's cheap, and also, if you went boots first, you have to use it, right? Like...
This is true. I guess they have to be a little bit more aggressive than you normally would. I'm not sure about the Centaur on the offlane. I mean, he already has a... Like, he's one of those heroes with a very low turn rate, and it's very important on him to turn fast as well, so that sticky napalm, if he then wants to run away from that Batrider, he is in some trouble, perhaps, if he's letting those stacks get up.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to be very careful, as you said, and manage his stacks. And I guess he should be okay. Does he have a... I think he has a normal turn rate. Does he have a low one?
I believe he has a low one, but I'm not entirely sure. It looks low in any case.
Well, he's big, so it would look low.
Perhaps that has a...
Maybe you're right.
Oh, crit!
No, you are right.
Gonna get lifted up. The heal comes out as well, though. This could be a kill going the way of Meteor Maker's a snowball, though. Crit's gonna be the one in trouble, and he's gonna also be the one first to die. They might get 1 kill in return. The Rubik will fall, but Link in a lot of trouble of himself. And the Weave from over the top. The Grave comes out on Link. He'll make it out alive for the moment and eats a Tango, as well as Unicorn will be able to run away with those boots. In comes Crit again. Wants to go for this Morphling. He's morphing into strength. Doesn't have that much, though. It has another Weave for him. That's going to be allowing a kill on the Dazzle. Morphling will still fall for that, but at least he got a kill in return for that, as he was probably... No, he was not going to die anyways, but... Oh well, trade. Crit's gonna die for the second time, and that's gonna be turning this engagement into a 3-on-2 in favor of Ahead, because they got and more kills and the first blood. They didn't get the race kill, but he does have to work back to base, which is quite
He definitely
painful.
does. And he's such a level-dependent hero that'll be a big loss, definitely. Almost the equivalent of a death. So, excellent job in the trail in there by a head. Obviously, that Tusk gives you a lot of laning superiority. And Boots vs. Dazzle doesn't have that much until he gets some levels. So, I think that was well played to them, definitely. I did look up the turn rates. He has a pretty normal turn rate. Okay. He's actually on the better side of normal. Basically, like, heroes... There's basically like two buckets. Like there's like slightly better than normal and slightly worse than normal, and then there's like really good and really bad, and he's in the slightly better than normal.
And who is really bad? Puck?
I mean Bat, Bristle. I'm not looking at it right now. I'm trying to think of heroes with shitty turn rates. Magnus has a pretty bad turn rate, I think. I definitely know Bat. Bat has an awful turn rate, but he's also able to slow other people's turn rates. Yeah.
Well, so
I think
far
Bat, Bristle, Magnus, and maybe SF? I don't know.
Okay. Well, so far Batrider is doing really well here on this bottom lane. He's 25 for 10, while Centaur, he's getting levels, but he's not getting any farm. In the meantime, top lane, there's a grave on Unicorn, but Link is going to be the one in trouble. Unicorn's still going to go down, though. Only one kill. He actually stuck around a little bit too long. No return kill this time, and this aggressive tri lane seems to be working out for ahead at the moment.
Yeah. The Tusk is definitely... And they need to... he misses barely on the ice shards. They still get the lift, but I don't see the speed. The lift is still there, and he's still slowed as well. He has to be careful there. The stun comes out on screen. But with Unicorn coming back... mid. Oh, wait. Oh, Astro. That's going to be Necroman dead. Nicely done for Ryze. We're jumping back on top where the Glimpse is going to get stopped because of the snowball. I didn't know that worked like that. Crit's still going to go down. Did you know it worked like that? If you were in a snowball... He threw out the Glimpse and Escurine went into Snowball.
And then the Glimpse didn't work.
Yeah. Snowball makes you completely invulnerable to all effects during the duration.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's actually really legit, but it's hard to pull off.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can duck anything with Snowball if you snowball at the right time. There are certain like projectiles that will just follow you through the snowball and hit you afterwards. I don't remember what they are though, but yeah. That was really well played to a head. They need to do this. But they are winning mid still, even though the OD kind of fed. What happened there was they used Stampede, probably for top, and OD was like, oh, like Stampede, I can probably knock over Invoker with this, but he got himself into trouble and died.
Yeah, he almost got the Invoker too, but, you know, diving towers is just not the bestest idea ever. Necroman sitting on 29 to 18. Well, Invoker sitting on 12 to 4. But with that kill, Invoker actually pulls a little bit ahead in terms of experience. In the meantime, on the bottom lane, Ace, at least he can fly over the ice shards. But Screen, he's going to get cold snapped. He might actually die here. One more hit away from death, and that's going to be it. Right there, Invoker gets it. Seema looking for a stomp, gets it up on Ryze. He's going to try to run, though. He will maybe get glimpsed back. No, lassoed back. That's going to be working out for him as well, as he is still going to try to run. The Rubik not able to save him. A double kill for Ryze. And the telekinesis actually dragged the Centaur back, because he was still in the lasso when he got dropped back.
Right. I think it was probably a mistake to Stampede when he did. I actually believe that if he Stampeded... like, if he accepted the fact that he was going to get lassoed and Stampeded after the lasso, he probably would have lived. But he thought that... There's this... Like, obviously Batrider's lasso range got nerfed, right?
Yeah.
So people... You feel like you can probably get away, but it's, like, sometimes distances... in this game are so deceiving. So like it feels like, oh, I'm definitely gonna avoid this lasso, and then Bat still gets the lasso off, and you're like, well, I'm never playing this game again.
Unicorn might be in some trouble. He's trying to run. Screen has got another ice shards up on 2 seconds. He'll try to hit it. Let's see if he can. Link will be the one if he gets caught by it, though. He is gonna be tanky enough to live through it for the moment, but there is gonna be a weave for him. The ice. Oh, that's gonna be enough. Snowball.
He's got him. They got him.
Yeah, they don't get the dazzle rather, but.
You'd rather have Wraith, yeah.
For sure.
He's still not level 6 as a result. That's very bad.
One thing I want to point out is that Ace, as first item, went for Boots of Travel instead of going for a Blink Dagger, which is quite surprising.
Dead Honey build, yeah.
Yeah, Screen stuck in a kinetic field. Let's see if they can take him down. Sticky napalm charges coming off, and that's going to be a kill for Ace. So those Boots of Travel so far working out for him.
Oh, apparently Morphling is Blow Your Brain.
Ooh. I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah, that's somebody in Twitch chat looked it up. Yeah, that's a... Man, we haven't heard from that guy in ages, but...
Well, he played earlier for...
Oh, did he? I missed it, I'm sorry.
Me too. Because I was casting something else, but I just read it in the chat as well.
Fair enough.
You get your stats
Thank
in the
you,
chat.
based chat.
Yeah.
Bat. So Boots of Travel Bat is doing work with these Boots of Travel. Look where he is now. This is like so unpredictable. They don't have vision of this at all.
Yeah, but
can they get the kill? The thing about Boots of Travel though is yeah, like now.
How is he gonna get over? Oh, he can of course
butt.
fly over the cliff.
Yeah, he can fly, but he has to get so close, and like people will see you coming. Like, all right, yeah, he's actually.
Oh, snowball! Stampede coming out as well. Rise, you're dead. Tries to get away. Actually, Sunstrike gonna come in. Ice. Has he got a flame break? Doesn't matter if he has a flame break or not. He's flying over screen. Glim's back into kinetic field for Seaman. He gets stuck. Lasso coming out just for him, and he'll go down there as well, meaning that Rise lives and 2 aggressors die.
That Hani build though, right? That's the Hani build. He's 1-0-4. This is legit. He's actually almost at blink at 10 minutes, even with the travels. All right.
Which is a very decent timing for an off-lane bat.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, for sure.
Well, in the meantime, Unicorn is trying to get some levels here in the mid lane. He's sitting on level 5.
Yeah.
He actually went for his level 3.
Yeah. This is actually a pretty good support for this guy to play, because Unicorn, of course, is actually a very good farming carry, so you'd expect to put him on supports that are able to sort of get some flash farm. Dazzle's great at that.
Yeah, and he is going towards his mana boots. Needs that for his team as well, especially, for example, for dealing with giving the Wraith King a little bit of extra mana, making sure that he has his ult up, which, by the way, he has, because he is level 6.
Yeah. I think ahead have this is a big problem. Like they look like they're in okay shape, but I actually think they're in quite bad shape right now.
Meet your makers or ahead?
Oh, ahead.
Okay.
Because OD still needs a ton of time to be useful at all, especially because he's gone this Midas first. So let's say he goes Midas Mechanism.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 items, both of which do absolutely nothing for OD, right? Like Midas just gets him levels, and Mech just heals, but like it doesn't do anything for OD's damage. You've got an under-level Tusk who was good in the tri lane, but as soon as he rotated, he just died repeatedly. He's now 2, 3, and 4, and he's not even level 6, where the other team's supports both have their ultimates. And you've got Rubik, who's still in the period of the game in which Rubik basically doesn't do anything.
He's not level 6 either. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a pretty delicate position because Batrider's dominating the game, Invoker's getting on quite well, and actually it seems like they might go a fast Necro on Invoker. So yeah, like I said, MYM is just going to sort of have a 15 to 20 minute window where they can kind of roll, I think.
Pun, because they're up against Snowball. But you're absolutely right. Meteor Makers is going to be having their lineup basically fight ready earlier than ahead will, and if they have that, well, as soon as they start getting ahead, then they will keep being ahead, as a Morphling will get picked off there. Kinetic Field, Static Storm coming out. That is Crit showing off that he is level 6. Dazzle over level 6 as well. And that Morphling, very important target to take down, of course.
And that Disruptor ult has a low cooldown. It's well worth going for. The main reason they even took Disruptor was for that AoE anti-Morphling utility.
Nice, and meanwhile, yeah,
that Hani builds, like, he's got Blink.
He's got Blink.
He has it. Yeah.
And with his Stampede coming off, I mean, it doesn't matter. He walks over fire with Cold Snap on, and you just can't go anywhere. I like that combination.
Yeah, the Cold Snap Firefly, like you said. I think it's gotten them at least 3 kills, basically.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't know. I feel like Ahead's draft is just so incredibly schizophrenic. Like, 1v1 lane winner that doesn't rotate in the OD, combined with like all-in tri-lane like dominating support with passive tri-lane farming carry.
Vice might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's getting chased down, but people have to walk over flames to actually try and get to him. And with no blink daggers up, and actually a blink dagger up on Bat, he's getting ready for action. He doesn't have a lasso, but if there is a turn and burn, he will be all for it. They did get the tower though. Actually got the Knight. Oh, the Knight on the top lane. On the mid lane rather, and taken on the bottom lane. So Meteor Maker is getting ahead on both fronts.
MYM denied it? Oh yeah.
MYM denied their mid tier 1, and they got their bottom tier 1 in return as well.
Yeah. So okay, OD is not going for mech. I think that's actually probably the right call. He needs to start like contributing really soon to save this game basically for ahead. So he's gonna go straight for that 4 staff. I think that's a pretty good call. I would even then just go for Tread's Sheep.
Why not?
I don't think there's any other option, honestly. Like he needs to be able to hit big ultimates and just clear out the enemy team.
He's not going to be able to deliver though, but he's going to try to help his team out. They're going to smoke gank. going to the top lane. There's 3 heroes on top for Meteor Makers, including that Batrider. They're going for Morphling, and Morphling could already be dead by the time that the rest of Ahead is here. In comes the lasso, the Stampede comes out as well, and the punch, not enough to take down Link. He has got his ult, he will be back up alive if he goes down, which indeed he does. Everybody slowed down. Seema still around here. They did manage to pick up the Dazzle, and it looks like Meteor Makers is going to try to run. Link is getting stunned by his own stun. And that's going to be a Kinetic Field, Static Storm up onto Necroman and Seema, both locked in. They get 1, they get 2. There's Wraith King still died. Perhaps Ryze is going to be in some trouble as well, but he is fairly tanky right now, sitting in his quest.
No, he's dead.
Might be able to run, but doesn't have any backup, and he gets punched and killed. There we go. That's a double kill for Morphling. 2 for 2 in the end, though. 2 cores for 2 cores.
Yeah, I mean, Invoker, he's just not quite leveled enough yet. Like, he only has level 2 Invoke, so it has a 17-second cooldown. That's the main thing. If Invoke was up, he could just QQ walk out, no problem, because they don't have any detection. But because he does have that 1 point in Wax, but he still had 7 seconds of cooldown on it. So I think it's an okay fight for Ahead, all things considered, but it just shows you how imbalanced the team composition is right now, where that was a horrible initiation from MYM, and they fought it like 100% under the enemy tower. So you'd think they'd just get blown out, but instead it's still like a 2 for 2.
I would credit that also to the Wraith King, just having that ultimate, slowing everybody down, getting that Disruptor Kinetic Field in position because of that. And overall just having a very solid fight because of that, all things considered, because they did get sandwiched and they were outnumbered.
Wraith King's such a legit hero in general. I just think this hero is great. But the ult is like, because it forced OD to even kill him. OD was forced to use his ult on the solo Wraith King just to proc his ult. And it's like, well, okay, your OD ult's gone and you got half of one hero with it. Like, okay, where's the rest of your team's damage, right? It's not really extant yet.
No, Morphling has most of his damage just sitting in the waveform over the top.
Rubik dead.
Rubik dead?
Maybe not? No, definitely dead.
Definitely
no way.
dead. Trying to do what he can, but yeah. Mega kill for Crit. This is a Disruptor that is 633. He's been involved in 9 out of the 13 kills already.
Yeah, he's been so on point. He saved that last fight for them.
Those boots, those really work out for him. He was able to get away in time. In the meantime,
Tusk is kind of like Tusk is like Razor actually. Like that's what the Boots first Dazzle is kind of about. If you can outrun, like if your movement speed is substantially better than Tusk's, he can't do anything to you at all, because his likelihood of landing Ice Shards is pretty low, and his likelihood of landing Snowball is, I mean, 0 if the math doesn't works out. So like, that's kind of why you see MYM focus on this move speed first on a lot of their heroes, and I think it's worked out pretty damn well.
Yeah, it has for sure. I'm a bit scared for Ahead, because if this Disruptor is going to be able to keep getting kills like he has been, he's gonna have his Aghanims pretty fast, and an Aghanim's Disruptor is one of the more scariest things that I can imagine in this game for Ahead.
Wait, is he close already?
No, but he is very rich.
No, but
he's sitting on 1,400 gold,
right.
and he has
Oh my
boots.
god. Yeah. No, Ags would. Oh my god, Ags would like end this game basically, because even if OD goes BKB, that point doesn't even matter.
If they're allowing like Crit to get the farm and Unicorn to be like the hard support.
Yeah. I guess the flip side is if Rubik steals the Ags Disruptor ult, that could, like, it's gonna be pretty bad for MYM.
Yeah, but he can't steal an Aghanim's Disruptor ult. Because you have to have your own Aghanims. No, you have to have your own Aghanims.
Oh, no, Morphling!
Oh, Golem is back. Kinetic Field, Static Storm is morphing into strength. It's not going to be enough, or perhaps it is. Blink Lasso on Necroman, though. Disruptor, Morphling might not be in the fight just yet, but Disruptor. Oh, rather, yeah. That one is dead. Necroman dead. There's also going to be the Batrider picked off. Seema trying to run. He doesn't have his ult anymore. Getting stuck in the Kinetic Field. Stunned up and killed. Even though Rubik did what he could to try and get the stun returned. And now he gets Glims back again. And that's going to be Dazzle's heal. That heal.
Yeah, that's actually, I would say that's almost more to Ryze, making sure that the Forge Spirits were with him, because the only reason the heal was able to hit so many targets and kill him instantly was because the Forge Spirits were there. But yeah, really great play from everybody on MYM so far.
They didn't get the Morphling. Oh, they might still get the Morphling. They stun him, but he's still morphing into strength, but it's not going to be enough this time. This time, no Astral Imprisonment for him. Wow.
Dude, this Crit player is pretty legit.
This Disruptor pretty legit indeed. He's sitting on 2k gold.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is the most fun I've had watching MYM since support Kunkka. She's still so underrated.
MYM is having some great games in this tournament, to be honest, and they're showing, but like they're one of those teams, like they weren't that old. They're a pretty young team, all things considered. There's old players in there. We've seen all these players before, and they've been in the scene for a while. But they're really starting to grow as a team together. Rise is gonna get stunned up. Mechanism is not saving him. Nice Synthetese Eclipse. MYM might need to run from this one. Unicorn still in some trouble. Has got a grave if he wants to. And Kinetic Field setting some up. Four people locked in position. Disruptor does it again. Are they gonna be able to back up? Are they gonna try and turn and burn? They are. Stampede coming out though. An Ace still able to drag that Rubik away. Rubik still dead. A Unicorn getting the killing blow. Disruptor. He says, I'm out, teleports out, no Adaptive Strike for Morphling.
Link just stayed in way too long, and he got a 5th stack of Astral Imprisonment on him, which made his maximum mana pool less than the mana he would need. Yeah.
That's painful.
And he died. He thought that he could just chase and like proc the ult and slow them down, but instead OD happened. Yeah, OD's pretty good against Skelly King.
If the fight is long enough,
like this fight for a head. Like, MYM stayed in way too long. I actually was going to mention... Oh, okay, no, he sold the Blink. I was going to mention that Blink was going to be a pretty viable alternative for crit to his Ags. He bought the Blink, but then changed his mind, sold it, and now has half an Ags.
Yeah. I like it. Blink is now up to 19 minutes in on the safe lane Centaur. Definitely a bit slower than they were intending it to be, but it will still have a big impact. I think, or I hope so for them anyways, as... well, that gold graph is dropping pretty low. Meteor Makers, 20 minutes into the game, they're 5k gold ahead, 5k experience ahead as well. And yeah, they're looking solid. There's not over for sure. And Ahead is going to try to make sure it will be going their way by having a smoke gank with the Rubik, the blinking Centaur, and the Tusk.
They're not going to... This is a pretty badly targeted smoke gank. Their vision is way too poor to justify something like this. Like... they just, it was a pure guess, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're relying on pure luck. I do want to say 15 to 20 minutes is when I expected MYM to roll, so the fact that they did mess up that last fight and got stopped is really good for Ahead, because they're going to try to live through this section. The Aegis is going to pose some serious problems with that for sure, but I think if they can defend, win another fight, and remove the Aegis in the process, they're actually on more solid footing. The main thing with that last fight was just, you saw the difference between the fights when OD ult hits 1 and that fight where it hit like 4 and MYM just have to run.
Is Stampede out, Tusk teleporting out. He's actually waving when he teleports, that's quite friendly.
It's so cute, yeah.
Leaders! They denied their towers, so that means that both of the towers that are down on the side of Meteor Makers are denied. That's actually a pretty big blow too, especially the supports, who don't really have that many sources of farm, because there are so many heroes on Ahead that need farm. Of course, Morphling being the biggest one of those. Morphling having his BKB ready. Ace? Oh, maybe... No, doesn't want to go for it. He doesn't have backup, and if he wants to try and take down Morphling, he needs backup.
Definitely. You think he goes full Bone 7 movement speed here with the mask, or... He doesn't have to. He could do a lot of different stuff. A sheep might be good. An orchid would be good. All these things are good.
Yeah.
Or refresher, the new school.
No, I wouldn't mind something that would help the team in terms of controlling the enemy team. So indeed, orchid side of
refresher.
No, not refresher.
It does. I mean, that's what it does, right? Like, you're not getting it for the 2 flame breaks.
But it's very expensive.
It is.
It's insanely expensive. Cooldown that's already very low to begin with.
You're right, absolutely. And I take it back, actually. It is for the 2 flame breaks. Because if you have a Force Staff and 2 flame breaks... Actually, 2 Force Staffs and 2 flame breaks. And then you just pick Bloodseeker, right? How do you lose? How do you lose is my question.
Yeah. And
then maybe you could get another refresher on the Bloodseeker as well. Just for 2...
Just for kicks.
Yeah, 2 insta-kills.
Ice Shards? They were trying to
So
find
here's the problem with Ice Shards against Batrider.
He flies over them.
On Firefly.
Yep. Just hits E. And actually Morphling in way too far, but he turns on his BKB. Wow! Blow Your Brain really wants to fight. I'm not sure if it's going to be working out for him though, as Crit could actually turn this around. The moment that the BKB ends, perhaps they have the chance. That's going to be Crit dead before anything else happens though. Killing Spree Gold going the way of the Morphling. Rise in some trouble, trying to go invisible, gets it in time, and that is 2 for 0. Rubik Colossa dying. Not dying fast enough as Link is in some trouble. He's going to be chased down. He has, of course, got the Aegis. Nice flame break up on 4. everybody overhead so low, but without that dazzle, without the disruptor, they can't really afford to fight. And really, I thought that Meteor Makers was going to be able to turn that around, but that BKB, the fact that it was a 10-second one, really helped them out.
Yeah, it was really, really crucial. The problem is this Kirin's just gonna feed here. This was a horrible decision, but it's okay.
Yeah, well, it was a bit weird that it was sticking around there, to be honest, but...
Yeah, exactly. Again, your team has no vision. Like, they really do. They have one observer ward in a spot that is irrelevant to the course of this game. And
actually, Meteor Makers, their supports teleported back to the bottom tier 1, and they're on their way back. They still have that Aegis. Why not try and use it?
They should. This is actually like, I really do think their timing relies on like the next, like this current 10-minute span. So they do need to keep using it. They need to keep pressuring because Skeleton King is a very early game focused build here too. With the treads, drums, blade mail. Like blade mail's great, honestly, against OD, but you have to time it very carefully, and it's definitely not a scaling. Like it's not gonna scale that well.
No, they really are aimed for mid-game, and we have actually seen quite a few Wraith Kings that just stuck on the lane, farming, go for that Radiance, but up against that aggressive Trilane, this Wraith King just didn't have a chance. He needed to go for an early fighting build, which he did, but now they have to make that work for them. They have to fight early. They do have, like, Bear Rider is done, basically, with his items. The rest are all going to be luxury items. We have Rise with the mech and the Force Staff, done for him as well. Maybe a Scythe of Ice would be nice as well. Whoa, Morphling. In some trouble, perhaps, is Link. Not gonna be able to get the tower last hit because Morphling got that. Morphling, who turns on his BKB, walks past the kinetic field, looks for a target, going for Rise. The Stomp comes out. They want to go for this Invoker. Force Staff forward. Link, he has still got that Aegis. He's gonna burn it soon. If Seema gets his wish, he does go for the double edge and kills himself with that as well. As Invoker is gonna be the first one to get the kill until, of course. Yeah, Link, that's his ulti gone, he still has that Aegis, they get the Tusk, they get the Rubik, and this is ahead, running for their lives. OD still slowed,
nice
4 stacks of Sticky Napalm, and killed because of that. Glimpse from Crit once again, who is only 400 gold away from his Aghanims, and Morphling is the only one alive for his team.
The fact that... Oh, right, I forgot about that change, but yes, the ult triggers before the Aegis.
Yes.
So, man. So yeah, he still has the 1-up. They find Morphling again. Not gonna be the easiest time to kill him. They don't have Static Field, but... Static Storm, I should say. Ah, well, we'll see.
No,
Lawyerbin's gonna live, but they're still gonna Rax him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe not completely Rax him, as, like, Centaur is already back
They're
up.
gonna Rax, I think. At least one, maybe.
Well, Centaur might think otherwise. He's actually going in. He might be in some trouble, though. Definitely Blast puts him on the low ground. In comes the Snowball. Seema will go down still, though. Gets a double edge off, but it doesn't matter. Ace will be kept alive by Unicorn. Gets a heal as he goes. And, yeah, they can try to get some more kills out of this one, because this could have been a throw, as Morphling will be able to get the Aegis away. Finally, 26 seconds. I think that... Link is going to be happy that it got blown, but he gets picked up by a lasso, stunned up as well. Astral Imprisonment coming out, the hammer as well, and Ace manages to fly away, just barely. That Morphling getting glimpsed back, turns on his BKB, will be able to walk away from this one. In the meantime, this is still going. This fight is still going with Meteor Makers just in the base of ahead. Nobody cares about having to deal with tier 4 towers. They have the Dazzle, of course, backing them up. He's all out of mana, though, but it doesn't matter. They still kill the Rubik. Now with the Aghanims ready up on Crit. Mana Boots are, of course, on 2 heroes there as well. They can finally get these Rex going. There's 3,300 gold up on the Wraith King.
This is just them playing properly and using the timing. Like, they think about it and like, hey, like, what's actually to stop us from just, like, taking a Rax right now? I mean, Crit's gonna die, but he's already finished his Aghanim Scepter. He doesn't really care. They got a melee, which is a little better than I thought they'd do.
Yeah. And it's actually going to be Centaur that's going for the mechanism for his team. I guess, you know, you need to have one hero with the mechanism, but it was not expecting Centaur to be it.
And again, they can't afford to have the OD do it. Obviously, the Morphling isn't going to. Tusk doesn't have the money. Rubik will never have the money. So I think it's sensible. Centaur's a fine mech carrier in general. I've played 4-role Centaur in pubs. It's fine. It's not, like, great, but it's okay.
It could work.
It's no 4-row Bristle.
At some point,
legit.
Because he's not as farmed as he probably would want to be, he's still, like, he's below the supports of Meteor Makers, so he's kind of sad. Then again, the supports of Meteor Makers are kind of rich, I do recognize that. But at this point, he is basically a number 4 kind of hero. He is a blink and a crush, and a blink and a hoof stomp, basically. That's his job. Double edge, press R, and then he's done in the fight, and he doesn't really do that much extra damage.
I mean, he's only got one in return just because he's under-leveled, so yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Stampede's still great, and it does, like, tolerable damage as well. It does, what, 120? It's okay.
Yeah. Meteor Makers, they still have one tower to take down on the top lane for a head, so perhaps that's going to be their next goal. They have not gotten Aegis anymore. Perhaps they want to wait until the Roshan is back up again, which we're going to see soon.
I don't think they should. I think they should just do it.
2 minutes and 15 seconds.
They got an Invisrun on bat. They're going to at least kill somebody with that. He's got... I mean, look how decked out this bat is with his brand new BKB.
Yeah, and a gem to boot. He actually bought it himself as well.
OD's not gonna have a good time. Like, he's fighting a team that now has Blade Mail and, like, BKBs. And... Here we go.
Oh, Morphling, Astro Imprisonment already up on him as Seema jumps in. Crit, punched, gets Grave for the moment. His Static Storm and Kinetic Field did do some work, at least to pick up the Rubik. Screen might be in some trouble though. Cold snapped, killed off on the side. That is going to be Seema thinking better of going back into the fight there. OD will die, and now his 2 heroes left alive. It's going to be the Morphling who still has an illusion up somewhere, but the illusion is sitting ignored. He is not microing it. It's not away from the fight.
Centaur.
Only now he actually moves it away. Centaur still died to the Wraith King.
I mean, he went in. He went ham. Unfortunately, he went too ham.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta go Sam.
GG.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? This was a pretty bad draft from Ahead, all things considered.
Do you think it's draft, not play?
Yeah, I mean both. MYM played really well. Ahead played less well. But like, how well are you gonna play to make like Tusk Rubik, like Morph, OD, like what was supposed to happen? I guess like what was. Let's say they played better. Like, what was the theory for how they were gonna win this game? I guess. Like
Get
win lane
fat,
with Rubik. Yeah,
get OD
like
fat, get Centaur fat.
Yeah.
They had to win their lanes basically.
Right. They had to win 3 lanes, and then one of those lanes you have a Rubik, lane loser, hero supreme. I love Rubik, like don't get me wrong, I love this hero, but he loses lanes. And then Centaur against Batrider, classic melee hero against Batrider matchup. Like, what are you gonna do?
True.
It's a melee hero that isn't named Slark. Like,
yeah. Well, I have to say, I mean, Meteor Makers, they've just been looking strong lately. Might be the teams that they're up against, might be that they have really found their footing, which I think they kind of did so far. They have been still undefeated in the tournament. Yeah, we're going to see them again, though, see if they are still strong in our next match. They will go up against the Retry team that we've seen having a couple of hits and a couple of misses so far. The Retry has only got 1 win to their name as well. 1 win, 3 losses, so they want to try and win this one to... get back up at top.
Have all those games been with ZXC?
Most of them for the Retry, yes.
So like, I don't
know.
The Retry's a very mysterious team because
they
like,
were missing ZXC for 2 games, I think, of the 4.
Okay, because like ZXC's pretty good. The team should be able to win, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, the other teams have been better. I think we cast together. Retry was on the PGG Windranger mid.
We certainly did, Shira.
Yeah, so that was a game where ZXC was missing, and that showed heavily. Like, that was insane. Kind of sad. We're gonna see if he can do better this time, though. Let's head back here into the game in soon. At least official starting time is in 20 minutes time, so we have got a little bit of a break. But Meteor Makers against the Retry. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you do too.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun.
It should be fun. We'll be back.